the time and really appreciate this lighting, girl. Ooh, wee. But what is up, you guys? Welcome to another episode of the Rehinged Diaries podcast with your host, Ali Karza. So, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I feel like this week in particular, I was really struggling on what I want my next podcast episode to be about. I was like, there's so many things we could talk about in pop culture. There's so many things I could talk about in Pretty Privilege that you guys been really appreciating and enjoying. But like, I need something to really like come to me that's something I'm relating to in the moment. Because I love making those episodes, by the way, but it's like I love when like something's happening to me currently and it just inspires an episode, because then it's like you feel the passion so much more, and I really just want an episode like that. I'm like, what shall I do? And I feel like as of lately, a lot of my family members, like my mom, my sister, my brother, have been telling me lately, you look so beautiful. And I'm like, well, duh. Like, I'm like, well, obviously, like, shit. Like, but I'm like, what makes it different now than then? Because, bitch, I was always cute. But lately, I've been really getting back into manifestation. I've been really, like, getting back on my shit, you know? I feel like I fell off for a really long time this year. I'm going to be honest. And I'm like, I really need to get back to myself, which I was always manifesting. I was always journaling. I was meditating pretty consistently. I love meditating. And I felt like I lost myself. Now that I've been getting back to that and really like finding myself again, I feel like my brother and sister have been telling me, they're like, you look so beautiful. But it's like a glow where like we could just tell you've been like really valuing yourself. Like the way I've been really holding myself lately and dressing more elegantly and like really just like pouring into myself. People have been really noticing that. I've been like, dating. I've been dating again, and I would have like men tell me, they're like, oh my God, like I can just tell that you hold yourself to a high standard and that makes you so attractive. And I think that's what really inspired today's episode. For those who looked at the title, it's going to be about why my celibacy, I really feel like made me so much more attractive. And I'm laughing because obviously you already know the drill. For those who are continuing listeners or viewers or whatever, what makes this so funny? One, not my glasses starting to tint up. Not only that, but y'all know me. Like, I'll find anything to like journal or write down my thoughts and opinions so I can articulate myself correctly. The way that I used like a paper, like I think it's like my car insurance, like some random paper in regard to my car insurance. And I was like, I just need to jot down some bullet points because I don't want to miss it. Like, this is an episode I'm really excited about. And there's so many points that I really want to get out there. So for anyone who really needs to hear it or can relate to it, I got you. I got you. So I really wanted to articulate myself correctly for this episode because I was just going to talk from the heart, but I'm like, I can't do that. I do that's gonna be like a 3-hour episode, and I feel like I'm gonna miss an important point that I really wanted to make. So with all that being said, in regards to the conversation of why I feel like my celibacy made me so much more attractive, is let's talk about it first. Why is sex so good? Because for anyone who's been listening, watching me for a while now, for over a year, you would know that your girl used to get down. Your girl used to get down. And I've been really open with you guys about how I really did struggle with like a sex addiction. Like I really did. And that's why I want to have the conversation of like, why is sex so good? And for me, like I feel like a lot of people, especially a man looking at a woman, he's like, oh, a woman must really value sex because what it does for her physically, like the physical aspect of it. And I can't speak for men, because I feel like what I'm about to say, a man can maybe disagree with me. I can't speak for y'all because I can't relate. But from a girl standpoint, why sex is so good is, one, obviously the physical aspect. Like, we're not going to sit and act like that's not there. Obviously, that plays a huge role. But then the bigger thing at hand is the emotional aspect of like sex. Like, one, being touched. Like being desired, like having your body being explored, that shit's validating. Like that shit is really validating. It's like it boosts up your ego. Like to have someone like look at you and be like, oh my God, like I want to touch you. Like I want to explore your body. I want to appreciate your body. That shit feels good. Like that shit feels good, especially if you're at a point in your life where you really want that ego boost. like, sign me the fuck up, you know? And I think the thing at hand that's so sad is a lot of slutty people get a bad rap. And I'm giggling because I don't know if I should identify as like now, I'm definitely not a slutty person now. But, you know, before the reform, before the rebrand, maybe. I don't know. But, like, the thing is, why slutty people do get a really bad rep is the fact that people think that we're just fucking the fuck. But 9 times out of 10, we're not. Like, a lot of us are breaking our boundaries. We're hooking up with people we normally wouldn't. And it's like, people don't really understand the psychological aspect of that. Like, to really look at a woman, like us women, we're supposed to be feminine. So it's like the fact that we're sitting there and just letting anyone have access to us, like even people that, like, even putting ourselves in dangerous situations, what makes you think that we just want to do that? Like, yeah, like there's some part of us that's like, that needs validation, that's hurting and feels like that they need that ego boost. Like, their confidence is so low that we need that. And to share a quick experience of, like, in regards to that conversation, as I was thinking about it the other day, where I was like, yo, some of the things last year that I did, I can't even fathom. I cannot even fathom. Because a lady today, for those who don't know, my real name is a lady today would not do half, not even like half, like some of the shit I did like last year. I'm like, what in the world? Like, I was really thinking about it. I'm like, I remember there was this one fantastic date I went on with this guy. He was such a gentleman. We obviously said we're gonna hook up, but like, he was such a gentleman. He's like, I want to take you out on a date and have a good experience and have fun, and then afterwards do the deed. I remember we went to like Dave and Buster's. And then after that, I remember he was just like, oh, you can't outdrink me. You can't outdrink me. And I'm like, yes, I can. I was such a pick-me. I was like, yes, I can. Yes, I can. And I drank so much. And it was literally the moment I got to my place is when all the drinks started hitting me. And I kid you not, I can't remember anything that we've done. And it's kind of sad because looking back at that, I used to really sit there and giggle about that and be like, oh my God, he fucked Samantha, not me. No, that shit's not cute. Because I wasn't even like, I don't want to put anything on him, but I really just could, like, Ali could not consent to that. Like, I could not consent. I don't even remember anything that was done. Like, he could have did things to me and I don't even know. And it's like things like that. It's like that was at a point in my life where I was so lonely. And I remember in my last episode, Vanessa, we were talking about, like, my best friend, we were talking about, like, being in a point in our lives where, like, have you ever been in a point in your life where you felt like you had so many people around you, you had friends, but you just still felt lonely? That was me. It was the way that I had all these guys all over me. It was the way that I had so many friends, I had so many people around me, and I still felt lonely. And I felt like at that time, my confidence was at an all-time low. And it's crazy because back then, like at that time, you would think I was so confident. And it's crazy. Like, I remember like my last take a shot every time I say it's crazy. But it's like with my friend at the time, I'll never forget, she would like tell me, Ali, you're so fucking confident. Like, guys just flock to you. But looking back, they flocked to me because obviously I am a confident person, but I looked very easy. The way that I dressed, the way that I held myself together, like, we're going to get to all of that in that conversation of how much I sexualize myself. But of course, men are going to be all over me because a man is going to be intimidated by a woman that looks like she's, you know, damn, she holds herself to a high standard, because then that shows that they got to show up as like, they got to step it up, you know. But if they sit there and they look at this girl who's like flocking her body and loves the attention from anyone and anything, of course, men are going to flock to me. And that's the thing that I had messed up when it came to confidence. Like last year, I thought, oh my God, I am so desired. I'm so attractive. All these men flock to me. They're obsessed with me. They are like begging for my time. But it's like they just wanted to have sex with me. Because subconsciously, that's what I was pushing out. That's how I felt like that was the only way to be desired. Going into my next point is like being objectified is a lot of people's reflection of being valued. And that's something I heavily related to. In my conversation of pretty privilege, I remember for a very long time, I was just like, oh my God, like, I grew up very ugly. I felt like me being authentically myself did not serve me well. Like, it didn't make me feel appreciated. It didn't make me feel accepted. But when I started really taking care of my appearance, oh my God, that's when people are like, you're so pretty. That's when my family members suddenly started giving a fuck about me and actually want to like talk to me. Like I would talk about it in my Pretty Privilege series where there'll be times I'll walk in with like, this is the Hispanic community. So a lot of my Hispanics, y'all know what I'm talking about. But I'll walk in and they'll just like throw hella shade at me, trying to humble me. Oh, ella parece gordita. Or, oh my God, like look at all the acne, blah, 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 blah. Like all these slick ass comments. But the moment I started really like taking care of my skin, the moment I started really taking care of my body and going to the gym, my family members will flock to me. How did you clear your skin? My child is dealing with horrible acne. Maybe you can give us some pointers. Or, oh my God, how did you lose weight? I'm trying to get like that. And it's just like, and then as I got older, as my body started to develop, when I started realizing, oh my God, when I wear something a little bit more revealing, that's when I realized men started giving me nicer attention because I grew up being bullied by men. So imagine the mind fuck of that. Like imagine growing up being bullied by men and then like out of nowhere they're suddenly being so insanely nice to you because you started sexualizing yourself. So imagine the mind fuck when it comes to that, where I'm like, okay, now I understand how I get people to be nice to me and treat me like a human being, and is to do this to myself. And I really fell into that trap for such a long time, where I felt like, oh, this is how I get accepted by everyone. This is how I'm good. Like, this is confidence. Like, confidence is showing my underboob and showing my whole body. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, you could still show a little skin. But it was my mindset behind doing that. I wanted attention so bad from people because for me, it felt like validation. It felt like, well, if these people are sitting here and they're being so nice to me, they're flocking all over me, it means that I'm beautiful and I'm worthy and I'm desired. It's not. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, there is truth behind like, I am a confident person. But if there is a lot of insecurity behind an intention that I'm setting, you're not too confident, babes. Like, I am a confident person. When I walk in a room, bitch, I want eyes on me. I want to like be the life of the party. I want to be the light in the room. But if I'm doing that, trying to show my body because I obviously want attention from men, you're not that confident. Whereas now, I love walking into a room and I'm fully dressed and I still have them heads turned. I'm still having people crawl, That's that's even more flattering. Is when you didn't even have to show your body, you didn't even have to demean yourself to get attention. But we'll get to that later. I feel like when it comes to you objectifying yourself because you feel like this is the only way I'm going to be desired by someone, you're going to fall into the trap of what hookup culture does for you, where you're like, okay, I'm at a place in my life where I have a low self-esteem. Like for me, for instance, I got out of a long-term relationship that was, girl, we talked about it enough. Like, I never talked about it with you guys in detail, but the day that I do, y'all will know why I was so fucked up. Like, truly. Hence why I feel like slutty people get a really bad rep, because for me, it's even worse when I go into dating now, and I feel like a lot of people look at my early episodes and they're like, oh, she's a whore. She doesn't have self-respect, when it's like, really look behind why I was doing a lot of what I was doing. Like, truly. Anyone out there that can relate or listen to those episodes and look at me now, you could probably truly like connect the lines together. Like, yo, like this woman, like I was so sad. I was so lost. I was just on survival mode. Like I was constantly just working, constantly just trying to save myself. And then I thought this little escape was like exciting and thrilling and euphoric when it really isn't. It isn't. So the really interesting thing that I really want to provide a perspective for people out there who probably haven't experienced it yet, or probably have and they can't wrap their head around it, is we're human. When you get the urge to fuck, it will intensify. And that's the thing that puts you in that loop when it comes to hookup culture, is when you're going to sit there and think, because it's so intense, that you need to fuck, like you need to hook up, like that's what your main desire is. And like I said, I'm speaking as a woman. I can't speak for men because maybe that's all that you want. I don't know. Men are a different species. Okay, I cannot dissect y'all enough. But when coming from a woman, you think that's what you want to do. Like, I have this urge, I'm horny, like I want my organs rearranged. You think that's really what you want, but then let's say that you went along with executing that. You're like, okay, I'm gonna go get laid. You go get laid, and that feeling afterwards, a lot of women know what I'm talking about. That feeling afterwards, you start realizing, why the fuck did I even fuck? Like, this didn't even help the feeling that I had initially. And you want to know why that is? It's because a lot of people think that that's what we really wanted to begin with, is to fuck. And you just wanted to get off. That's not what it is. What you really wanted was closeness. You wanted to feel appreciated. You wanted to be touched. Like, us human beings, that's what we crave. So that's what I'm saying. Like, hookup culture, you're gonna fall into that loop of thinking, oh my god, this is what, like, I need to keep fucking. I need to keep fucking because that's what this hole in me is there for, because I just need to fuck. And then before you know it, it's like 500 bodies later and a CD later, and you're like, your self-esteem is probably to the fucking floor. And then you're like, why am I still empty as shit? Why do I still have a hole in my fucking body? And it's just a vicious cycle. And that awareness is gonna make you realize how empty casual sex really is. Because then you're gonna be like, wait a second. You mean to tell me that even when I'm horny, like, bitch, my eyes twitching, like, heartbeat in the like, girlies know what I'm talking about. You think that with all of those feelings, that even if you do hook up with someone and get off and shit like that, you're not gonna feel fulfilled. That is why. Because obviously when it comes to casual sex is a whole different conversation too, because that's the meaning within itself. But then everyone knows when you're gonna casually hook up with someone, it's transactional. So of course, a lot of your needs you think are being met are not even being met. Because when you're casually hooking up with someone, it's a mindset that you have to get into if you don't want to get attached and hurt, you know? Been there, done that. Everyone, I'm sure, has a story. But wait, like, that's the thing. Like, when it comes to, like, casually having sex, it's like, it's so transactional. It's like beyond disrespectful towards yourself. Why is this so disrespectful to yourselves? Because you're literally telling people that, hey, just because we share an attraction towards each other, I'm going to grant you access to me. Like, the only requirements that you need to have for me to grant you access to me is what? Being hot and, like, being a little funny. You know how disrespectful that is? Like, that literally is like a guy looking at you thinking, oh my God, there's this beautiful exotic woman right in front of me. All I got to do is make her giggle a little bit and have her in some way, shape, or form find me attractive, and then I can have full-on access to her. Like, thinking about that in hindsight really shows that that's not respectful towards yourself. It is not something you do if you really saw true value in yourself. It's also disrespectful because you also aren't requiring anyone to see the value in you. So then there's so much loneliness in that. Like, casual sex is so fucking lonely. Like, it really is, because when you're like, because like, and that's why a lot of women, specifically speaking for only women, I can't really speak for men, but a lot of women that are like, oh my God, like, I want true love. But then you're only so attached to men that treat you like a cum bucket, you're emotionally unavailable. And trust me, I know you might be side-eyeing me like, bitch, I am emotionally available. I want love. No, you don't. And trust me, I had my therapist point this out to my fucking face, and I was too stunned to speak. And it's because, think about it. Like I just said, you aren't requiring anyone to see any value in you. And not only that, you don't even have them required to take your feelings into consideration. Because like I said, it's a transaction. If you're casually hooking up with someone, it's just a transaction. For you to be with someone and really pursue a relationship, you got to let them really see the greatness that you hold, the beauty that you hold, for you to share a connection with each other. But if it's just transactional, it's just sex, of course, you're going to feel so fucking lonely, because then, one, us humans, we want growth in friendships, relationships, whatever. So if it's just, okay, we're just getting each other off and then leaving, it's fucking, like, really think about that shit. Really think about it. It's like, it's just like so not it. Because just like if you're hungry, you don't gotta eat if you're fucking hungry. So when it comes to sex, I promise you, you're not gonna die. Coming from a bitch now that's been celibate for fucking 9 months now. The longest I've ever been, y'all. That's the longest I've ever been celibate for, believe it or not. And that might be sad, but it's the truth. It's the longest I've ever been celibate for. But you're not gonna die if you don't engage in the act. I'm alive. As you can see and hear, I'm very much alive. And you don't need to get into this act to survive. So there is that vicious loop that you get into thinking, I'm so horny, this must mean that I need to get into this act to fulfill my needs. It's not that, babes. I promise you, because you can do that. Dating apps make it so much easier. And I think that's a whole nother conversation in hand that I'm gonna have later. But it's just so crazy because it's like then it's like it's so accessible. Like sex stops being a beautiful thing. It just starts being like a transaction. And I feel like that's what this generation is obsessed with because we're all obsessed with the instant gratification. It's so insane at this point. It truly is. Everyone is obsessed with instant gratification to the point where a lot of men don't even feel like they gotta pursue a woman because they're like, I can just go on a dating app and just get what I need sexually, then going on about my day. Loneliness is at an all-time high at this point in time, and it's because of that. It's because we don't gotta put effort into shit anymore because it's so accessible left and right. I don't care what anybody fucking says in the conversation when it comes to men. The ultimate prize for a man is sex. It is. Because of course a man can sit there and see value in you, but then like let's really think about it. If a man's attracted to you, it's physical. He's physically attracted to you, and the way that men be thinking, two heads, usually the other one, they're gonna sit there and want to engage in that act with you. But it's like if you're giving them just access to that without investing in you and without trying to like really sit there and take the time to see the value that you not only see in yourself, but they have to discover, it's like they're gonna eventually just see you as an object of like, oh my gosh, I didn't even have to sit there and really talk to her and really get to know her and make her feel seen and validated. All I gotta do is just the bare minimum and she granted me access. What other thing do I gotta pursue when it comes to her now? I got what I wanted. And it's like crazy because back then men used to like slay dragons. They used to sit there and really ask for their parents' permission to even date their daughter and stuff like that. And now it's like, can you imagine like someone from like the past, like like they're time traveling to now and be like, oh my God, I want to see how the world is. They're gonna be like, well, damn, back then we had to sit there and ride our horses to the fucking house and be like, yo, can I even just take your daughter out on a date? You mean to tell me they could just go on their phone and just swipe and get laid? It is crazy, y'all. It's crazy. Times have changed. With all that being said, it's like if you don't sit there and really start standing on business and really being like, like if I see the value that I hold, I'm gonna gatekeep myself. I'm gonna truly gatekeep myself. And I feel like for me, that's why I feel like a lot of people have been telling me I'm a lot more attractive. And for the first time ever, it's like a big compliment. Because I know they're not sexualizing me. Because I don't show off my body anymore. I have my moments, y'all. Because it's like, bitch, I go to the gym. I'm going to show off my gains, okay? But like back then, y'all, I used to really be in like a thong and showing y'all. I used to be in like in a thong or showing my under. Like it is crazy. I look back at my old stories and my posts and I'm like, oh my heavens. Like don't get me wrong. I'm an always lingerie model. Like I love showing my body in that way because it's an art. Like modeling to me is an art. I love that. I will never stop that. But back then, it's the way that I dressed because I wanted validation. Whereas for me, I just feel like I'm in a different persona when I'm modeling. Like it's an artistic thing, you know, it's a thing, it's a mindset in that regard. But back then I used to dress the way that I did because I wanted a man to be like looking me up and down when I walk by. Whereas now that shit annoys me unless I'm like fully dressed and I'm like, oh, I know they're appreciating me because I'm not showing anything. I feel like my way of dating now makes me so much more attractive because me being celibate, it means so much to me because back then when I would see a cute guy, all I wanted was just to fuck. I'm like, I want to fuck. Especially if they're hot. Oh my God, I'm like, I just want to fuck. Like when I'm seducing them or talking to them, my intention in the back of my mind is, oh my God, I want them to desire me sexually because then it'll feel, you know, euphoric and it'll feel nice and flattering. Whereas now that I'm celibate and I realize I've been living a really happy life being celibate. For anyone out there who's dealing with what I used to deal with, where I had an addiction to sex, where I just never could even imagine going as long as I've been now celibate and not engaging in the act, it's like the happiness that I feel because when you like decenter men and you're not engaging in the act, you are forced to like really pour more energy into yourself. And that's why I feel so much more attractive, because on my free time, I'm going to the gym, I'm journaling. Now I've been really getting into manifestation, like, manifesting again. I've been really trying to get into books. Like, I just downloaded a book on my phone so I could, like, read it during work, because I used to usually do audiobooks, but I want to challenge myself and really, like, finish this book. I'm not going to tell y'all which book it is, because it does have a bad rep. All I'm going to say is it has a bad rep for being very manipulative. So that's all I'm going to say. For people that are really into books, you probably already know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it's just funny. I'll talk to you when I finish it, okay? But yeah, I feel like because of that, because I decentered just sex in general, the way that I feel so much more confident, because I'm like, whoa. Now that I decentered men and sex, it's like I know that I not only enjoy my peace and being by myself so much more, like the fact that right now I'm at one of my favorite parks, the view is so beautiful. Like, even if I wasn't filming, I was just sitting here and looking at the view. It is so peaceful. I don't need a man by my side. I don't need to go have sex for the peace that I'm feeling right now. Whereas back then, I used to be under the impression that I needed to be engaging in that act for happiness, because I thought that that's what happiness was for a really long time. But back to my point, when I go into dating, when a man is like, oh, I want to take you out for a walk or a coffee, delete. Because what the fuck do I look like, girl? Like, what do I look like for you to just be like, oh, I'm going to take you out. Like, I'm not even going to invest any sort of money with you. We're going to go use nature. We're going to use nature as a free option for us to be with each other. And like, I'm sorry. I remember when I first heard about that, when girls was like, I don't like low effort dates. And I remember, like, when I first started dating on dating apps, guys were like, oh, are you that girl who doesn't like, like specific places for dates? I would be like, no, I don't really care. But then now, yeah, I do. Like, I'm not too picky. Like, if it's some restaurants, like, whatever, I'm not going to be too judgy or too picky. I don't know, maybe. I don't know. My standards have risen, bitch. They have risen, because I'm like, if I can give myself everything, you got to give me more. You got to give me more, because if not, I don't need you. Like, I don't need you. I think men forget that. Like, I don't need you. Like, I'm doing you a favor, like, going on this date with you. Because it's like I could just be by myself and enjoy myself. But you clearly saw attraction with me. I saw some sort of attraction with you. So it's like, don't sit there and think that I'm going to be sitting there needing you, or I need to fight for your attention. No, that's the other way around, boo-boo. Men be getting very sassy these days. And yeah, I feel like because of that, because I've risen my standards so much, that I won't accept low effort dates. I want a man to plan out a date. Like, don't come up to me and say, okay, what do you want to do? Bitch, done. Done. What do you mean what I want to do? Pick a place. Like, pick a place. I'm not beyond picky, but it's like, no. I'm not. Just pick a place, because I like effort. Effort is so sexy to me. Like, on my last podcast episode, when I was talking where I was on that date with that guy, he ain't shit. I'm gonna give y'all an update on him the next episode when I film with my best friend again. But I love the fact that he sat there and was grabbing a plate and serving me my appetite. Like, effort is sexy, but you're only gonna get that kind of effort when you know that you deserve it. And I feel like a lot of men who probably, like, listen to this episode this far is probably like, oh my God, this girl doesn't like low effort dates. Like, who does she think she is? I know I'm that girl. And you can go look for another girl who doesn't require that much effort. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't give a damn if, like, and that's the thing, when ladies or even men out there, anyone listening or watching, when you start raising your standards, you're going to have people side eye you. People are going to tell you that you're raising your standards too high, and that who do you think you are? Say, I'm that girl. Like, I don't need to sit there and explain to you why I feel like I deserve what I deserve. Like, I'm in this body, I'm experiencing what I'm experiencing. I dictate what I deserve and what I don't deserve. And if you got a problem with that, you're not my target audience. Could you even afford what I want? Like, it's just silliness to me. It truly is just straight silliness. It's just really hilarious. And I feel like now, because I'm like, okay, when it comes to dressing, I want to dress more modestly. And it's because I hold myself to a higher standard. I like to dress like very femme, but also like I like the alternative side of me. So that's the best way I can describe my style now. It's like I love elegance. I love pearls. I really do love pearls. And I also just I like being covered up while also showing skin at the same time. Like nothing too explicit. I don't like explicit things anymore. It's like I like wearing skirts now. I love wearing, I'm trying to get into heels. I've been starting off with kitten heels because I was never a heel girly. I was never femme, honestly, like growing up. And then now that I'm really exploring that, because I just hold myself to a higher standard. Like when I look at Bella Hadid, that's what I want to mimic. Like that femme, but like very confident. She's not too explicit. You would never look at her and think, oh my gosh, too much. You just think she is a goddess. Like she's a goddess. It's like women like that. Like I look at, like I have these women in my vision board that I look up to because I want to mimic that. Where it's like, okay, I want to like be a better version of myself, and these are like my inspirations. And I think that's beautiful. I really think that's beautiful when people get inspired. You don't have to look at these women. I feel like a lot of us women, we're trained to look at those type of women and get so insecure and intimidated wanting to get work done. No, I look at that and I'm like, I want to, like, I really want to be something like that, but in my own way and version. Because I have tattoos. I remember when I first was like getting into trying to date older men and like more of a provider type of man. I remember a lot of people were like, you have tattoos, it's gonna like turn people off. With this confidence, girl, I know my worth. I know my worth. Like, I don't care if a man's like, I don't like tattoos, then you're not my target audience. I'll find someone who I'm their target audience, or they're my target audience, where they like who I am and what I represent. Like, don't ever sit there, ladies, and think this person's gonna not like me because I have kids. Find a man that's gonna be like, you will find your audience. Like, you're fine. You are fine, but you gotta love yourself first. You have to have that confidence of, like, I know what I hold in a relationship. I know who I am as a woman. I know the value that I possess, and I'm not gonna sit there and just grant that to just anybody. You gotta invest in me. Take me on dates, make me explore new things, make me create beautiful experiences with me that's going to make me want to continue seeing you, because I don't have to see you. You don't have to see me. So the sassy men, they're going to be like, well, I don't got to see you. Oh, yeah, you don't. So bye-bye. Like, bye-bye. Like, I don't care that I don't got to see you. There's going to be people that are going to want to see me, that see my value, and they want an experience with me. They want me in their life. But you gotta sit there and believe that first. And I feel like because I'm celibate now, like I said, the conversation of celibacy, that's what made me so attracted. Because like I said, back then, I used to just look at people and just think sex, 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 sex. It was bad. It was just really what I thought. Sorry, I looked around because I'm like, are there kids? Because my windows are creaked a little open. But we're just thinking, sex, 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 sex. So because of that, I would think, okay, like I was so much more easy to manipulate because of that. I think men could feel that in some way, shape, or form, that was something I desired and it was something that I really wanted, like subconsciously, or like I was very with it. I feel like I was easy to manipulate, and like I said, it devalues you as a woman when you give it up so soon. Like when you give it up so soon, and I'm not shaming people that want to engage in that. I feel like everyone in life should engage in it. Okay, so I don't want anyone to listen to my episode and think, oh my gosh, she's like too intense. Like, no, girl. Okay, I support the people that still engage in that and they want to. But I'm saying, when you get into that age, I'm 25 now. I had my fun. Okay, I had my fun. I had my era. I went wild. I went crazy. But I just don't desire that anymore. Because it's just insulting to me. It is insulting to me when someone looks at me and they think that they're just going to get that from me. Like, dating nowadays, there's a lot of guys I would go on dates with, and I feel like they thought just because they took me out on a date that they're immediately granted sex. But I feel like because I've been celibate, for one, and then two, because of the way I've changed, the way that I dress, the way that I did my makeup now, I feel like men know, I can just tell just by looking at her, she's not even going to entertain that. And that's because not only did I change my energy, I feel like changing your energy would have to come first. I started changing the way that I dress. I started changing the way I held myself together. Because back then, girl, I used to give you the I want to fuck eyes. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I used to like really give you the I want to fuck eyes. I would just hold myself in a way where I'm like, and I feel like now I don't do that. Now I'm interested in hearing the other person. Like, I just date with intention now. So, and yeah, and the saddest thing about it all, and I think that's why celibacy makes me so much more attractive, is back then, people took advantage of the fact that I didn't have boundaries when it came to just being desired, lusted over, like just sex. Like, I feel like a lot of men like I've been noticing lately, a lot of guys that I used to hook up with been hitting my DMs like crazy. And it's annoying because it triggers me, because then I'll look at it and I'm like, wow, I feel like you at the time were probably like fucking like jumping, skipping home, whatever, knowing that you got laid by me because I was just so easy and so accessible. And it's insulting now because I don't ever want anyone to think that I still am. And that's what's it is sad. Like there's times I grieve when I look at my early episodes. There's times I even have the urge to delete it, but I'm like, I won't. Mama ain't raised a bitch. Mama ain't raised a bitch. But one thing I will say is it's insulting because it's like I don't want people to think that that's just who I am. It was who I was. And it was something that I experienced. I really was sad. I was addicted to sex. I was addicted to the validation. And I thought that's what I really wanted for a long time. But who I am now, it's just not what it is anymore. I just don't think it's all that anymore. But no shade to the people out there that want to explore that. I think everyone in life should explore it. You got to hit that rock bottom of knowing what sex really is. Because I feel like back then I had a hoe face, and then I met my ex-boyfriend, and then I had the same hoe face again. And I feel like those two hoe faces that I had represented that I really felt like, because obviously when you get out of a long-term relationship and it ends badly, especially mine ending as badly as it did, you're put in a very vulnerable like space where you're very like your self-esteem is really low. And I feel like for me, I used to think that the way to get my self-esteem up there and get my ego stroked was sexualizing myself. Whereas now I just know that I'm not gonna do that. I've had men give me money, spoil me. I've even had my last partner that I was with, that was non-binary, like, treat me really, really well, and made me realize I didn't even have to do all that. I did not have to do all that for love and to be appreciated. I think that was the most beautiful thing that person taught me, was like I did not need to like truly take off all my clothes and do all these crazy things, like completely cross my boundaries just to feel loved in any way. Because now I love myself. I don't need to be like touched sexually in order to feel desired. No, I want to be seen. I want someone to be like, yo, this is a woman in front of me. Like she has drive. She has goals. Like she knows what she wants, and she's not going to settle for anything less than. I know what I want. And if someone's not willing to give that to me, I will move along. And that is so attractive. Discipline is so attractive. I want a man to look at me and be like, yo, this girl works overnight and she's still disciplined to go to the gym and clock in, focus on her podcast and her dreams and giving herself the life that she deserves. That is sexy. What's not, I used to really think sexy was me showing my underboobs and me really just like telling a guy I want to do to them in bed and really just like get very explicit. I thought that was love and being desired. Whereas I'm looking at myself now, I'm like, no, what is sexy? It's the fact that I have discipline to not engage into sex. And of course, I have my urges, girl. I have my urges. But I'm telling y'all, Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve, y'all. They be having discounts on toys. You don't need a man. I'm telling y'all don't need a man. Of course, don't get me wrong. I'm human. There's times I'm like, damn, I want to be touched. I want to be kissed. I want my body explored. But then again, I'm like, all the buffoonery that comes along with it, I want to feel invested. And that feels so much more sexy. And I'm thankful for that partner that I had for a while, where I'm like, damn, I really realized like this was so much more fulfilling. Is to be with someone and have them interested in things that I loved, and to really just spend quality time with each other, and not having sex be the main objective of everything, because then it's just lust. Because then that's so much more devaluing, is realizing someone's lusting over you, not loving you and seeing your value. But it all starts with you seeing it first. But yeah, I think that's going to be everything for today's podcast episode. Thank you guys so much for watching or listening. I really just had to come on here and express all of that because it's been crazy. Today, literally, let me share something with y'all. I just came back from the gym. If you're wondering like why I'm dressed the way that I am, I was going to be more glammed for this episode, but I'm like, you know what? I got back from the gym. I got myself a matcha. I was really about to pull up here and be like, okay, you guys, I wanted to like look so bougie. Like I had my little matcha drink, but traffic was crazy coming into this park, and my fat ass, I couldn't no more. That shit was so good. It was so good. But when I go to the gym, there's this one guy that would come up to me and like he would like be a little bit flirty. And he told me he was like 50. So I'm like, oh, I've been loving like older men. I'm sorry. Like I feel like if I'm gonna pursue a man, I need an older man. I can't do anyone in their 20s. I served my time, okay? I can't do someone in their 20s. Even someone in their 30s is pushing it. I want like 40 plus. I want like a grown man. And if I want a female, if I want to pursue a female, or even someone that's non-binary, like I still have my standards still apply to everyone, okay? With females and like with like someone that's non-binary, my standards still apply, but it's like I'm more open. I do want a femme. Like I want someone that's feminine. Like I can't be with someone that's like masculine, that's a woman. Like that's when I just prefer a man. But yeah, I don't know why I got sidetracked. But he gave me peanut butter. I feel like without context, you're probably like, what the fuck, Allie? He got me peanut butter. He said he made from scratch. So let me give y'all context. So when I'd be going to the gym, he would be like, oh, like he would say that he would see me and I wouldn't smile. So then that's when I'm like, at first it annoyed me because I'm like, eh. He'd be like, he's like, I'm gonna start calling you Smiley. You never smile when you're at the gym, but you're such a sweetheart, because like him and I would have small talk. And I'm like, motherfucker, because I don't smile because I'm I'm miserable. Like, I'm miserable. When I come in here, I just got, like, I work overnight. So the fact that my ass is in this bitch, I am not happy. I'm like, I got to get this body because it ain't going to get itself. That's really what it comes down to. But I'm like, I'm not happy. That's why I'm not smiling. I'm unhappy. But I'm proud of myself when I clock out of that gym. But it's like when I'm in there, I'm unhappy. Him and I would talk here and there. And then today, he was getting, like, very flirty. And I was getting flirty back. So I'm like, because he did say he was 50. I'm like, okay. He said he got a couple businesses. I'm like, okay, how I like them. Successful. And then, yeah, he asked me, well, he gave me his number. And he was like, you can text me whenever you feel like. I really want to take you out on a date or even cook for you. Because he said he's a chef and he's a personal trainer. I don't want anyone to figure out who I'm talking about because I feel like he wouldn't be that hard to find. But, cause especially the people that keep up with me know what gym I go to. He would not be that hard to find. But yeah, he asked for my number and he was just like, I really want to take you out on a date. And he's like, do you have a husband? Do you have a boyfriend? I'm like, no. He's like, why? I was like, because I value myself. And he's like, oh my God, that is so sexy. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to go through with it, you guys. I have to think about it. Because there was a couple red flags. He started venting to me why he was single. And I was like, I was starting to get a couple red flags. But I don't know. Okay? I don't settle. Because just because there's one that seems cool and seems charming doesn't mean he's the only one. There's a lot of men on this planet Earth. And there's going to be that one that I'm a big believer that you just know. When you meet someone, you just know that you're going to have something with them and that you're meant to experience them. I'm a big spiritual person and I believe in that truly. So if it happens and it feels natural, then okay. If it doesn't, it is what it is. He got me peanut butter though. He was just randomly like, I don't know. He was very like, you could say he was really trying to impress me. He's like, oh, I made peanut butter from scratch. Do you want some? I'm like, I guess. Like, that's a really odd gift. But I'm down to try it. Yo, what if he poisoned it? Ah! I didn't even think about it. If you guys don't see me in my next episode or y'all don't hear from me, I was poisoned by this peanut butter. But yeah, that is basically everything on that. More life updates will go on my next episode when I'm with my best friend, because I think it's more fun having my little life updates when I have someone with me, so we can like share together, you know. But when it comes to these episodes, I don't want to share too much about my life. Like, I really want the topic at hand to be the main point. But that is everything. I love you guys so much. If you are listening to this on Spotify, make sure to give it 5 stars rating. I was gonna say we gotta keep these lights on, but I'm outside at this beautiful view of this park. I love this park so much. Like, I love coming here when I just want to enjoy like nature, even though I'm in my car. Like, I'm like, I should be outside, like, you know, we're closer to the water, and that's like appreciating nature. But here I am in my car just looking at the view. It's same shit, okay? And yeah, if you are watching this and actually looking at my beautiful self, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Comment down below your thoughts and opinions or your experience with celibacy, or if you're trying to break, you know, that toxic cycle of hookup culture. Share your experiences down below so we can connect and I can see them. I see everyone's comments and I love everyone that comments. I love it so much and I appreciate it so much. Obviously, of course, click that subscribe button down below because you're gonna see more of me and so much more exciting episodes when it comes to pop culture, more exciting interviews and guests, and just so much more. Join the family, join the familia. I'm tired as fuck. I'm gonna go home, shower, and take a little nap before work, and yeah, get this uploaded for you guys. I love you guys so much, more than you know. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers before the year ends, so make sure to subscribe, please. I love you guys so much, and I cannot wait to see you guys in the next podcast episode. Bye bye.